Hey, it's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And what better time to be reading Vicki Delaney's Oh Deadly Night, Book 8. Hey, and welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy schmancy stuff going on here. And this is Book 8. And we are in Rudolph. And we have Mary and her mom and her dad and Vicki, her best friend, and Jackie, her store clerk. And let's see, Kyle is Jackie's boyfriend. He's also inadequate at every single job he does. He wants to be paid for doing nothing. And but he's working for the newspaper taking pictures. He was working at a glide cart, one of those street carts, giving out sausages. Someone caught on fire. So we have Officer Candace Campbell, and we also have Chief Sims, who seems to be better with Mary's dog than Mary. So she trains Maddie the dog better than anybody else, and the dog listens to her better than the dog listens to Mary. And Mary's involved with Alan, the toy maker. And Mrs. D'Angelo is Mary's landlord. And Mrs. D'Angelo is the landlord that's got to be in everybody's business, backwards, frontwards, sixways. She's on her Mrs. What was it? Mrs. Worthy, what was her name? From Victoria Thompson's series, with always out on the sidewalk with the brush. My little pretty cat tree my friend gave me. So she's always outside, sweeping or gardening to catch the local gossip, to see who's coming home at what time, who goes out at one time, who goes out with who goes out with somebody else. And the house across the street has been vacant for some time. And the original owner was said to be a hoarder of money, but no one ever saw it. She was always very, very frugal with everything she bought. And her descendants decided to use the house as a rental. They wouldn't come back. And apparently they had a teenage daughter way back in the day who got in a lot of trouble, who skipped school a lot, the whole 9 yards. So and they had a fight with the kid, and the kid left like 20 years ago and haven't seen her since. And the parents have since decided to use the house as a rental, and they moved up to New York. So the house has been vacant, and there was a family in it, and the family stayed in it till their kids grew up, and then they have moved out also. So the house is vacant. And the descendant, first, the neighbor, Mrs. D'Angelo, thinks that there might be two men living in there because she sees men come and go, but she doesn't see them do that more than once or twice, and then they're gone. And she's got her plate of cookies all ready to take over to them, and she's waiting for the lights to come on to give them a minute to serve the cookies. And they go out again, and she doesn't see them again. And then she finally sees a lady in there one day, so she goes over to give the cookies, and it turns out it's this lady Raquel, the troubled teenager from the past. And she really doesn't want Mrs. D'Angelo there, and things go six ways to Sunday. And unknowns to the reader, Mrs. D'Angelo gets bopped on the head and tied up, and Raquel ends up dead in the basement. And it takes Mary a few days to, Mrs. D'Angelo is missing. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? And we fear the worst has happened to her, that her nosiness got her in trouble. And so Mary finally gets into the house, finds Mrs. D'Angelo, and they also find the dead Raquel in the basement. They call the cops, and apparently the entire basement has been converted into a counterfeiting ring. So then the search begins. And there's also a side story of them trying to help Muddle Harbor. Muddle Harbor is their nearby town, and they're not as proficient in gathering guests or tourists or anything like that. They're kind of like a deadbeat town, and some of the older people that have been there forever like it that way. They don't want to see change, but some of the younger people think that they need change. They need money to come into the town to keep supporting the town, or it's going to become a complete go town. So there's some stuff at that side. Then this guy Graham shows up, and he says to him, he's one of the descendants of the original lady that hoarded all that money, and he says um that the lady was his cousin. Well, sort of his cousin. My granddad and her great aunt Dorothy were brother and sister, so we had the same grandparents. Is that second cousins? Before anyone could try and work the tree, and that's how it worked. Then we also have a side story of Jackie is Mary's clerk in the store, and she's been dating Kyle, and she's just over the moon in love with Kyle. But Kyle, so then it turns out that Kyle had dated Raquel way, way, way back in high school. Or actually, he's in his mind, he thinks he dated her way back in high school, but she has like no memory of him, and she really doesn't. She gives him this much thought, but Kyle gives her this much thought, and it's irritating the life out of Jackie, because Jackie thought that he was, and he's like, "Well, you don't understand, Raquel. I love you too," and she's like, "Too." So there's a big blowout in Mary's store, and some stuff gets damaged. So Jackie's gonna have to pay for some stuff she threw. So you have all these little side stories going on. And then, of course, the search for the who killed Raquel and why did they kill Raquel. And this guy, Graham, he's kind of creepy. He keeps asking Mary out on dates. And she tells him several times that she is involved with this other guy. And he just keeps, it's just creepy. It's just creepy. So, that's basically book 8, Oh Deadly Night. I was waiting for it to come in. I'm glad it came in, so I could get a chance to read it. And I can't wait for the next one. Have to wait till next year. But we've got a lot of books coming up. Oh, hey, don't forget to check out the unboxings every single Sunday. I do not know what's in those boxes. I just do not know what's in them until they arrive and I open them up. And then we divide them up and we take them to the different charities. And then If Then and Friday, stop Googling. Stop Googling. D. Louise book series If Then. You're looking for vampires or werewolves or cozy mysteries or forensics or homicides or detectives or Scotland Yards or investigative reporters or any of that stuff. Check out my books, YouTube tab. And then on Saturdays, the entire year of 2026, we are reading Eve Dallas, J.D. Robb, Eve Dallas in-depth series. We will spoil the characters like crazy. I did review the books a couple years ago, they're my comfort books, and I need them to get through the holidays and therefore so on. So, every single Saturday, we'll be reading and discussing the characters of the book this time around. No spoiling the plot, no talking about the plot, just the characters and their progression through the story. As we wait for the next Vicki Delaney book and all the other books are coming out, I can't wait. There should be a JD February JD Robb we gotta get to soon. It's gonna be in the to be read pile. So check out Mary and a Gang next year. Have a good one and enjoy Christmas. Oh, deadly night, oh, silent night. It's Christmas time. Have a good one.